Now, for most of us, coronavirus became part of our world in March when the country was put into strict lockdown. But today's guest believes it hit her family much earlier. After getting ill over Christmas, actress Claire Sweeney believes she and her young son Jackson were struck down with the illness at the start of January. Now recovered, she joins us to talk about her experience, its long-lasting effect, and why she's now rethinking her priorities. So a really warm welcome to you, Claire. Hello.
Hi, girls.
How are you? What a terrifying thing for you. I'm so sorry to hear that you went through this. And you went through it before really anybody knew what to look out for, because you even ended up going to hospital, didn't you?
Well, I did, but I mean, it'll be interesting when we get the official antibody test. Time will tell. I'll know then for definite. But the only way I got very ill on Christmas Eve, it hit me, and I was doing pantomime. And like Brenda and I, when we did Hairspray together, you know, I know Brenda is an absolute stalwart and never goes off. I mean, never. She's wonderful. And I was the same. I was working at Christmas, and you know, I just plow through, never miss a show. And I literally got wiped off my feet. The only way to describe it was like a bus had hit me. I remember getting headaches, pains in the chest, fever, cough, lost my voice. And Jackson got really ill too. And I got sent home from work twice from the show. And in the end, I went to a walk-in centre, to a doctor's. And they said to me, "We've never heard lungs that bad on a non-smoker," and they sent me straight to hospital, got the x-rays, they put me on a nebulizer to help my breathing, and it was horrendous. It was horrendous. And I remember saying to my mum, "I've never felt anything like this before. It just feels weird and different." And then when we started hearing about coronavirus, I said I had that, and all my friends were laughing at me. And listen, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, I don't know, but it's every symptom that is there, you know, with the COVID-19 symptoms. So I will know when we get the antibody test, but I was very, very ill, and my boy was ill, and it frightened me as well. It makes you, you know, you think you're... Go on.
I was going to ask you, Claire, Jackson, of course, you mentioned Jackson. He's your little boy. How old is he, and how worried were you about him at the time?
Well, at the time, you know, I just thought I had a severe bout of flu. I wasn't sure. I was worried about Jackson because I was lucky enough. I was in Liverpool and I had all my family around me, so I was very lucky. I had grandparents and everything, and he just had this relentless hacking cough and temperature, and I was very worried about him. You know, you don't want to see your kid ill, and when you're not like fit to look after them as well, it's terrifying. And it made me rethink. You know, I'm a workaholic. I've always worked so hard, and I thought, gosh, next Christmas, do I want to do panto? Maybe I should just have a little bit more time with my boy and take it a bit easier. And I don't know, it just made me rethink things. When your health is in jeopardy, it makes you think differently, doesn't it? You realise you're not indestructible.
It would be fascinating to know the result of your antibody test, because, I mean, you're right, they're not providing them yet really via GPs unless there's a, you know, you're like a key worker or whatever.
And also, Jane, at the time, they weren't testing for coronavirus.
No,
I think if I'd got those symptoms now, I'd have been tested straight away.
But if you know, there are private antibody tests now, but they do cost a bit of money. But if you have got the antibodies which will tell you that it was that would be fascinating, because Christmas, if you think about our delayed reaction to this, it was around before Christmas, I believe, but as a country, we didn't really start taking it seriously.
And you know, Jane, it lasted a month as well. It took me a month to get better. And normally if I'm sick, I'm straight back on it, straight back to work. And it took me a month, literally knocked me off my feet.
Yeah.
It was a bit scary, you know.
It certainly sounds like it was that from the symptoms that you described.
And how are you obviously coping with it mentally now? Because physically you seem to be so much better. Has it made you much more frightened than you would have been, say, for a normal person who hadn't gone through this?
At the beginning, you know, I was due to go to New York in March. And I remember the taxi pulling up outside and I wouldn't go. It was like 2 weeks before the lockdown. I thought I just had a feeling, I thought this is going to get worse, this, you know, and I didn't go. And I was very, very, very cautious at the beginning. But, you know, we've kind of had how long have we been in lockdown now? Is it 10 weeks?
Yeah.
Well, I went into lockdown a week before the official lockdown, and you just kind of, you know, you start to get used to what's going on around you, don't you?
If you had the
It's very funny,
antibody
Claire.
test and you were found to have had it, would that put your mind at rest maybe about the both of you going out a bit more?
Yeah, well, everyone was laughing at me. You know, all my pals thought I was bonkers. I still go out now. I'm out and about and going to the park and everything. And you know, all my friends thought I was mad. But I thought, you know, it'd be very interesting to get it and realise I wasn't being a drama queen.
I tell you what, Claire, actually, I was very ill at the end of February, March. And one of my sons said, I bet you've had it. And I had the antibody test last week. I paid for it, but I didn't have it. And part of me, in a weird way, was disappointed because I thought maybe if I'd had it, I would have some resistance against it. But I wanted to pick up on some of the things you said, because I'm a workaholic, really. And at the beginning of the virus, I was very gung-ho about the whole thing. But I find as we go on now, because obviously both my husband and myself, we're in the danger bracket, if you like, of age. And I've found that since things were lessened a little bit, and technically I could go to the park amongst many, many people if I wanted to, but I'm getting worse about it as the time goes on. And like you, I wouldn't go in a bus, a train, a plane, get in a taxi I didn't know. I wouldn't do any of that now. So I'm more conscious of it now. I'm afraid of it.
Yeah, at the time, a while ago, I wouldn't. I've relaxed a bit now. But did you get the official antibody test, Gloria, the one that they've... Because there's all different ones out there, isn't there?
There are. I paid for mine with a private doctor just because I wanted to know. But I think the official ones will come up soon.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting. And yeah, I've been talking to a lot of people who were ill around January, February. Another friend of mine in Liverpool, and they said the same. They said it was like nothing. It wasn't like a normal flu. So, you know, I think it's been around a lot longer than we've been told.
Claire, I want to talk to you back to Jackson, because obviously I've had the pleasure of meeting him. He's gorgeous. You brought him on the tour and everything. How are you feeling about getting him back to school? And also,
so he's not going back.
You're not sending him back?
His school has decided not to let his age group back to school.
Okay. That must make you happy, I'm sure, because you love spending time with him.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? I mean, I'm loving hanging out with him. I'm loving being with him. I'm loving the freedom of just, you know, not having to go to work and being able to be with him every day. And you know, that for me is the silver lining in all of this. I'm loving being with him. And then we got the email saying it's the older children who are going to go back in his school in year 1, and Jackson's reception. So he's not going back.
So you're homeschooling him as well and everything. You're homeschooling. How's that going, girl?
How's the maths going?
I'm rubbish. I mean, I've been doing phonics with him, and mathematics. I'm numerically dyslexic, and I'm like, oh my god, this is a nightmare. So
Claire, I think
there's a lot of stuff.
Claire, there's a lot of mums around the country going, we hear you, we hear you.
I'm struggling with a 5-year-old's mathematics. I thought, what is going on?
Can I say you look amazing, Claire? You look fabulous, girl.
Oh, thank you, Brenda. And so do you, darling.
Your bed looks amazing as well.
Oh, it's very flash, isn't it? Yeah.
We're just glad to hear that you and Jackson are safe and well, and we're sending you lots and lots of love. Thanks for joining us today,
And love
Claire.
to you girls. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.